What's up, guys? Coach Vassar here. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. As always, any feedback, let me know how I can improve, how I make this better for you, and so you get the most out of these 10, 15-minute videos. Jumping right into May, we're going over May 1st. This is going to be on a Thursday. It will also repeat Monday, May 12th, which is Other's Day. So just be aware of that. So we're going to see endurance on the treads, and then strength on the rower, and endurance on the weight floor. As always, we'll talk about the key concepts of the 2G, talk about the 3G as well, and then get you on out of here. So for key concepts today on the treads, we're going to see 2 blocks. We set your push and base, and then can we keep them throughout each block? On the rower, you finish the floor block with a 1-minute row. Halfway through the row, we slow down but drive harder to maintain power. And then on the floor, you have 4 supersets today. We focus on chest, core, legs, and back. So when we look at the treadmills, we're gonna see an 11-minute block, 90-second walk recovery, and then another 11-minute block. So 23.5 minutes over there. Both blocks are set up the same way. We're gonna see a total of 4 rounds of a push and base. Each round will take about 2.5 minutes. Now in block 1, it's a longer push, shorter base. So 90 push, 1-minute base. Every round is like that. You finish with a 1-minute all out. The goal here is to maintain the push and maintain the base. Now, because the base is shorter than the push, in order to maintain, most people will probably be better off with a more conservative push intensity. Power walkers recommendation, of course, 6% or greater. Joggers and runners probably on that lower end of about 1.45 over their base. For the bikes and striders, it's always just keep it simple. Looking for about 3 gears over their base. Now, the first 2 rounds or so, they may see that heart rate response trend towards like a high green, low orange during like the final 30 seconds of that push. And then it kind of carries elevated into the first 20 seconds of their base, and then it starts to dip. First 2 rounds is kind of the flow of it, but by that 3rd and 4th round, their heart rate might be elevated in that orange and it may stay there even at base, and that's okay. Because we really want to prioritize how members feel, because the base should be active recovery from that uncomfortable work. They might not get to green on that 3rd and 4th round because it's only a minute, but if they do, awesome. Ideally though, they don't take it to a walk recovery because they're still maintaining their base and their push in the block. They finish with a 1-minute all out. Nothing fancy there, 10% if they power walk, 2 or more over their base speed if they jog run, 6 gears over their base gear if they bike or stride. Now, when we look at block 2, we flip the script. It's still 4 rounds, but now the push is 1 minute, the base is 90 seconds. This is a new block, so they could re-establish their push and re-establish a base that they want to maintain. One thing to keep in mind is cumulative fatigue is going to be a factor, especially for the group that starts on the weight floor first and then they come to the treads. So even though they have 90 seconds at base, we may not see true heart rate response recovery in the same effect of the first group during that first block. So 1-minute push, if they can maintain what they did in block 1, great. If they're up for a challenge, they could increase it since it's only a minute, and they have 90 seconds of active recovery on the other side. Especially with 90 seconds, the first 1 or 2 rounds, by about 45 seconds to a minute in, heart rate is trending back down towards green. If it gets in a green, great. At least 1 to 3 beats per minute lower than where it was at the highest part of the heart rate response. Just like before, they're gonna hit this for 4 rounds and then finish with another 1-minute all out. All in all, not much to talk about when it comes to the tread side. With these longer 90-second durations, it's a great opportunity for you as a coach to prioritize the weight floor. Looking at the weight floor, 2 blocks. Both blocks are gonna be set up with 2 different back-to-backs that they will repeat until a 1-minute finisher. The first back-to-back is gonna be 3 rounds. The second back-to-back is 2 rounds, and then repeat all 4 exercises as one big circuit at 8 reps each. Same thing for block 2. You're gonna have 2 movements for 3 rounds, 2 movements for 2 rounds, and then all 4 as their one big circuit at 8 reps each. When we look at the movements here in block 1, we're gonna focus on chest and core. So for the chest, we're gonna see low bench chest fly, shoulders packed, elbows soft, they reach out, come back up. One cue that I like to have people do when it comes to the setup of this is not only elbow soft, but imagine like they're trying to hug a tree, so the arms are wrapped around, and then also take the thumbs, slightly turn them out. That's gonna drop the elbows, so it's a better position to get that stretch in the chest rather than in the shoulder joint. That's gonna be paired up with the reciprocating chest press. Now, it's gonna be a higher rep count of 16 total reps. Every switch is 1. Every round they're gonna decrease and at least maintain the weight or potentially go heavier for each round. So they'll do 8 flies, 16 presses, 8, 12, 8, and 8. With this being a back-to-back and targeting the same muscle group, very high volume, they should need to rest before they go into the next round. When they've completed 3 rounds, they go into the next one. This one's gonna be a core-focused one. We're gonna see the straight arm sit-up from the bench and the dead bug. So working through some spinal flexion and then some reverse extension, essentially. So as they do the sit-up, they're crunching up, coming up, squeezing through the abs to pull them up. When it comes to the dead bug, they wanna maintain that tight core as they extend the arms and feet away without losing that spinal integrity and that lower back glued down. If that low bench dead bug is, of course, tough for people to do, they can always flip over and do a bird dog instead. Those 2 movements, do them back to back, rest, and then do them a second time. Then they do all 4 as one big block. We'll talk about the rowers in a moment, but first let's go into block 2 on the weight floor. Block 2 set up same way. The first 2 movements, they have 3 rounds of this. And just like before, we want to maintain or increase the weight they use on the second movement as they lose reps. We're gonna see an alternating step down reverse lunge to knee raise. So starting on top of the bench, they'll take their right foot off, drop down to that reverse lunge, right knee comes up, both feet back on the bench. That's 1 rep. The next rep, left foot comes off, reverse lunge, left knee up, back on the bench. That's 2. Okay. A great option for this one is from that reverse lunge position, they could bring their foot back onto the bench, then pick up the knee. That way they at least get that moment to regain their balance and stability. Of course, doing it from that low bench increases range of motion, which that in itself is a challenge for a lot of people for that reverse lunge. So if that's very tough, they could go body weight first rather than weights. If they still struggle body weight, then have them do it off the bench. Okay, same thing as before. They have 3 rounds, 8, 16, 8, 12, 8, and 8. It's gonna be paired up with the step down goblet squat. So dumbbells here, they're stepping off to the side of the bench, find their balance, and then squat straight down. Now the main thing about this is obviously one foot's higher than the other, so their hips are gonna naturally want to dip. So prioritize them trying to keep their hips level. Working on squatting on an uneven surface is something that we end up doing in real life quite a bit, but not in a gym setting because a lot of times the gym is flat. But you think about outside, when people are going out for a walk, they're at the park, they're going on a trail, it's not flat, it's very uneven. There's many times where they have to reach down to grab stuff. So just being able to have that strength in the hips to keep it stable is very important. And that's one way you can kind of bring this to life when talking about the benefit of doing these step down squats. Of course, if that step down is very uncomfortable, it gives them pain or discomfort, they could just do a step out squat on the floor. Once they've completed 3 rounds, we're gonna see the strap lat pull down paired up with the bench pullover. Now the strap lat pull down, of course, one of the newer movements that's been introduced. If you have not checked it out, the exercise library for this specific movement has a setup video of the best way to kind of get members set up for it. I also like to use like a non-equipment based rehearse technique, and I'll have people stick their arms up, bicep by the ear, drive those elbows down and back up. So as they're doing that, they want to start in this position and then pull themselves up and then back down. So if I see people hold on to the straps and their arms are out here, I'm like, hey, we didn't practice it like that. We practice it like this. So they have to hinge over, push their butt back, drop their chest so they could come into that position. Okay, just like before, 3 rounds, 2 rounds, and then repeat as one big block. Now let's talk about the rower. Block 1 and block 2 both finish on the rower. So with the row, it's gonna be a 1-minute row. You want to send the weight floor to the rowers, most likely when you take the treads to their final base, okay? So like in block 1, At the 9-minute mark, wait for, let's wrap it up. Head over to the rowers. When the treads hit their all out, you're gonna start your 1-minute row. And for this row, they're gonna start at a higher stroke rate at 28 strokes per minute. And then the second half, we're gonna slow down and take it to 24 strokes per minute. With this higher stroke rate of 28, the tempo is gonna be more of like a 1 count back and then 1.5 counts forward. For the 24 stroke, it's gonna be 1 count back, 2 counts forward. So a little bit quicker. At the beginning, they might not have as much leg drive since they will be able to use momentum for those first 14 strokes, because here's the deal, 28 strokes per minute. They're going for 30 seconds. It's math. They're gonna get 14 strokes in 30 seconds. Math is math. Like, if anything, have them count 1, 2. Once we hit that 30-second mark, work on the patience on the return. The water is gonna slow down a little bit more than before, which means they're gonna have to drive back harder to increase their power. And this is where we could tie into the idea of that explosiveness through the lower body to drive back, and also primes them for that weight floor stuff that they're gonna see in block 2 when it starts with the lower body anyways. The second row is exactly the same as the first one. Same thing, when you send the treads into that last 90-second base, you have people wipe down their stuff, head to the rowers with a wipe, and then get them set up. When the treads hit the all out, the rowers take off. And the main thing here, of course, is maintaining the wattage as the stroke rate decreases. Watts definitely jumps around quite a bit. So hopefully they could find a relatively close, small window that they could kind of prioritize and focus on. So if they see themselves going from like 80 to like 130 watts, hey, let's kind of rein it in. Let's get about maybe 90 to 100 watts or whatever number it might be better for them, okay? That's a 2G. Looking at the 3G, we're gonna see 2 blocks on the treads and then 1 block on the rower, 1 block on the weight floor. For the treadmills, very similar setup. We're gonna see 6.5 minutes, block 1, 90-second transition, and then another 6.5 minute block. For this first block on the treads, we're gonna see a 1-minute push followed by a 30-second base. Very short active recovery. So if people are aggressive on their push, heart rate's gonna spike up, it's gonna stay elevated the entire time. So that 30-second base is more of like a mental recovery than a true physical recovery. Of course, if they're more on the conservative side, they may see heart rate trend towards the green. Now, when we look at block 2, it's a 45 push and a 1-minute base. Now, for both of these blocks, we're gonna see a total of 4 rounds in block 1. After the base, it goes into a 30-second all out. In block 2, it's gonna be 3 rounds of that push base combo, and then a bonus 45 push, 30-second all out. So just be aware of that. The number of rounds are slightly different. Of course, just like in the 2G, because of the cumulative fatigue and the minimal amount of active recovery in block 1, block 2 heart rate is gonna stay elevated. Now, when we look at the rower, we're gonna see 2 1-minute push rows. The first minute, 28 strokes per minute, use a stored program. When they're done, they rack their handle, allow the water to settle, because that's gonna take them about 20 to 30 seconds, if not more. And then they're gonna do another 1-minute push row, but now at 24 strokes per minute. And the goal is to match or beat the distance at that lower stroke rate. So when it comes to RPE, for that 28 stroke rate, leg drive, probably closer to like 5-6, because it's a higher stroke rate, it's gonna keep that momentum up. The lower stroke rate at 24, leg drive is gonna be closer to maybe a 7, so like 6-7. So they have to drive back harder, and they have 4 strokes less, okay? Once they finish both of those, they're then gonna go into the med ball single leg rainbow. So they're on 1 foot, med ball starts on 1 shoulder, all the way up, there's 1, we come back, that's 2. They have 8 with each leg, 16 reps. Then they're gonna do it all again. Most likely people will probably get through, I would say 4, maybe 5 rounds of this, because 1 round is gonna take at least 2 straight minutes for the rower, but also the recovery in between. It's gonna be about another 30, 45 seconds. Med ball work is gonna be another 45 seconds or so. So looking about 3-ish minutes, 3.5. So 4 rounds. If people don't rest, probably about 5 rounds, okay? And then they finish with a 30-second all out. On the weight floor, we're gonna see the supersets. They're gonna keep it simple here. There's only 3. We're gonna see the chest, the legs, and the back supersets. So they drop the core one from the 2G, and also it's 1 round less. We're gonna do 8 reps of the chest fly, 16 of the chest press, 8 reps chest fly, 12 chest press. Then we go to the next one. So reverse lunge, single leg knee drive, alternate every rep, 8 total, paired up with the step down squat, 16, and then 12. And then lat pull down, bench pullover, same thing, 8, 16, 8, 12. When they finish all of that, they will do everything at 8 reps each as one big circuit. Ideally, still do them back to back. So do the 2 movements, rest, next movement, rest, third movements, rest. And then they will add the straight arm sit up as their finisher for the final 30. And that is the 3G. Once again, Thursday, May 1st, and Monday, May 12th, Others Day. Any feedback, please let me know. Other than that, coach you down.